Hi folks, Mr. Long here. I'm going to do a quick screencast on factoring trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not 1 and not 0 as well, of course. So specifically, this really works well when a is a prime number. And so I'll go through an example here, and this is how we learned it. This is one of our strategies for factoring. It's quite a quick strategy to use. And I really encourage you to use it again when a is a prime number. So this is for factoring trinomials, and then of course you can factor and solve as needed. All right, so let's take a look at this one. We're going to factor this right here, 5x squared minus 18x's minus 8. So here's what we know. We know that the a value is 5 here. So we know that in terms of the factors, that the first two terms are going to be 5x and x. They have to be. There's no other combinations. The only things that multiply to 5 are 1 and 5. So we have 5x and x. So now what we're going to do in this method is we're going to use the fact that this is negative 8 and that this is negative 18 to help us. We don't worry about the 5 times negative 8 like you would in decomposition. So here's what we do. We take these two factors here and we stack them on top of each other. So 5x, plus or minus something, and x plus or minus something, okay? And we put it in a box. So here's what I know. I know that these two numbers here in those positions, those two constants, are going to have to multiply to negative 8, okay? They have to multiply to negative 8. So since they multiply to negative 8, one's negative and one's positive, I know that. So what numbers multiply to 8? Well, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. But here's the thing, I can use a property of even and odd numbers, which is maybe something that you haven't used before when you factored, but you can use properties of even and odd numbers. So that's negative 18 right there, right? So it has to add up to negative 18, and it's multiplying to positive. So here's the thing, I've got numbers that are going to add to an even, and numbers are going to multiply to an even. Well, it has to be two even numbers. So automatically I can get rid of 1 and 8. So I know it's either 2 and 4, 4 and 2. It's one of those. So let's double check and see. And here's where the crisscross notion comes in. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just do this. So we start with, and we know that it's a negative, so it's going to, when we multiply, the bigger product is going to be negative. So I've got 5x times 4, okay, and then I've got, and then x times 2. So I've got 5x times 4, so 20x in one diagonal. Okay, that diagonal is 20x. This diagonal is 2x. Is there a way that I can combine those to get negative 18x? Well, sure, if this 4 is negative. Okay, negative 4 times 5x would make that negative 20x. So I know that the negative 4 goes with the x, and I know that the positive 2 goes with the 5x. Okay, so that's the way that works. So our answer is just 5x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 4. And you can see, even with all that explaining, it's much faster than decomposition. Again, works really well when a is prime. It becomes more complicated if a isn't. If we were happening to set that equal to 0, then one of those factors, so either this factor is 0 or this factor is 0, that's called zero factor property. So either 5x plus 2 is 0 or x minus 4 is 0. So if 5x plus 2 is equal to 0, I would have to subtract 2 divided by 5. So x would be negative 2/5, and in the other bracket, x would be 4. Okay, folks, so that's how you go about factoring, factoring with the crisscross method. And maybe what I'll do is quickly go over that again so you get the idea. So the whole idea here is we've got a polynomial right there, or quadratic, 5x squared minus 18x minus 8. We only worry about the negative 8 and the negative 18 to begin. Well, so the thing is that we know if the final product in terms of ax squared is 5x squared, the only two possible numbers they can be, or terms rather, are 5x and x. They have to be 5x and x. Then I know that these two constants multiply to this negative 8. Okay? I know eventually the sum is going to be a negative and it's going to be even. Well, what kinds of numbers multiply to an even number and add to an even number? Has to be two evens. Okay, if this is even and this is even, then we're looking at two even numbers. Okay, so anyway, that's that, and that's sort of the start of the process, and we worked out our crisscross. Okay, so works out to 5x plus 2, x minus 4. And our solutions, if we were setting them equal to 0, would be negative 2/5 and 4. Okay, folks, hopefully that helps. Again, watch it, rewind it. Good luck doing your homework.